What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am Wyatt Bagnall, and today I am giving you my predictions for the NFL's Week 5 games. It's a really interesting week. I think this is around the time of year that we start to get a really good idea of who these teams are. Week 4, I think, was pretty indicative, and I think for me anyways, it showed in my picks going 12-4, which was something that after 2 7-9 weeks of craziness was nice to get back on track with. So we're going to jump right in to Thursday night, where the Indianapolis Colts are going to Denver to take on the Broncos. Out of all the games, this is among the toughest for me to pick because both these teams have been huge underperformers. Yeah, I think I don't feel good about this one at all, but I think I'm going to go with Denver because the Broncos at least have a great defense and are going to be able to throttle the Colts enough, I think, to stop them and then do just enough on offense, especially at home. I think the Broncos pull it out. I think it's going to be another game that, even though they win, Broncos fans aren't going to have a ton to feel great about other than they have a winning record. So, yeah, we're gonna go Broncos over Colts on Thursday night. Moving to Sunday, we got Giants going to Green Bay. The battle of two fool's gold teams to me. Man, I'm gonna go Green Bay because I think the Packers defense can be legit, and their offense will do just enough. Also, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Daniel Jones. If the Giants win this, they're definitely more impressive than I thought that they would be. Even as a team that I don't think is a real contender, beating the Packers would be a step up in competition that I'm just not really ready to give them yet. So I'm going to go Packers. In Lambeau especially, yeah, we're going to go Packers. Lions at Pats. Lions all day. If Mac Jones was playing, this would be closer. But as it stands, the Lions offense has been able to play really, really well, like top of the league level well. And while their defense is awful, they'll be facing a second or third string quarterback and an offense that will say that they are limited in their weapons, to put it kindly. Yeah, the Pats, they just don't have it this year. They're just not constructed right to do it. And I think Detroit is closer. The Patriots defense hangs tough mostly, but I think the Lions will be able to sort of overwhelm them, and this time they won't give up the lead. Next up, we got Chargers going to Cleveland. Man, this one's really, really tough because the Chargers and Browns both have talented rosters, right? The Browns are playing Jacoby Brissett. Man, I want to pick the Chargers, but this so feels like a game the Chargers just choke away. Oh, man. Can the Chargers stop the Browns running? I mean, listen, the Falcons were able to beat Cleveland. I'm going to take the Chargers and just hope that they don't screw me on this one. This feels like the type of game that they would mess up, but whatever. I'll trust them. I'll trust them this time. Don't screw me over, LA, please. Oh, geez. Next up, Texans going to Jacksonville. I'm gonna go Jags. They've shown signs of life, and the Texans haven't. This is the time of year, though, where it tends to feel like a team with no wins is due to get one. But the Texans just haven't shown me anything. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. They're at home. They played better. Texans are awful. Yeah, I think I'm just a little jaded from last year's games with the Texans and the Jags, but I'm gonna set those aside, and I'm gonna say it with my chest that The Jacksonville Jaguars will beat the Houston Texans. It still doesn't feel good. Falcons at Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay. They seem to always be able to get right against the Falcons. The Buccaneers have started off really, really rough with injuries, not to mention having a pretty tough schedule to open. To come out of it 2-2 is fine. The Falcons are a get right game for them, and they will get right. So, yeah, Tampa rolls Atlanta. Steelers going to Buffalo. Buffalo. All day, every day. The Steelers' defense without TJ Watt is not the same. It's not nearly as prolific. Minka Fitzpatrick and Cam Hayward are good, but other than that, there's not much to worry about from the Steelers. Offensively, Pickett, first start, brutal. There's a tough first start. He really is good. He's got a tough stretch. And yeah, man, it's just a lot to ask of a first-time starter with a defense that's not playing that great right now. Yeah, I think this is the type of game where Buffalo, they dominate them. So yeah, I'm going Buffalo by a wide margin. Dolphins at Jets. I got a lot of respect for the Jets in terms of how they've played relative to how they were expected to play. But I think Miami, even with Teddy Bridgewater, will take them out. They're just more talented. Dolphins with Tua not being out, they have a player in Teddy Bridgewater as their backup that's not all that dissimilar. Like, I think that'll be a pretty seamless transition from starter to backup. And Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki, strong running game and like just strong scheme from Mike McDaniel. Yeah, I think Miami still has the pieces to handle the Jets. So even in New York, I'll say the Dolphins get them and rise up to 4-1. Fins up, you know. Going next, who we have? The Chicago Bears going to Minnesota. It's a division game. Sometimes weird stuff happens, but the Bears have shown me nothing that would make me think that they will beat the Vikings. So I think the Vikings handle them really easily. I think this will be a game that looks sort of similar to how they dominated the Packers in week 1, but even worse. So yeah, Minnesota, they're going to beat up on the Bears, you know. Skull. Titans going to Washington. Tennessee is going to take this, I think. Titans get back in the win column, back to a winning record. After starting 0-2, Tennessee is going to rip off 3 straight, in my opinion. The Commanders they've shown me nothing. They have given me no reason to pick them. Their defense plays bad. Their offense plays bad. I mean, maybe this will be the game where Carson Wentz just has a really awesome game and shocks everyone. But even that, it's like you're gambling to think that's going to happen. They're a roller coaster, and so far, it's just been the Tower of Doom, you know? They won first. Great, we're up here. And then straight down the entire way. It's been that type of roller coaster. Yeah, I think Tennessee's tough. They're not flashy. They're not overly talented at wide receiver, but they'll be able to keep this game close and they'll grind the Commanders out. Seahawks Saints. Oh, man. That's tough. Screw it. I'm going Saints. In New Orleans, I think they'll put a lid on the Seahawks offense, and their offense will be able to do just enough against a bad Seahawks defense. Seattle's been feistier than I think most people thought, but they've really only done it against like bad teams. They scored a lot against the worst defense in the league and won. And other than that, they beat the Broncos in week 1. Week 1, weird stuff happens, and the Broncos have looked like an underperforming team anyways. So I think New Orleans has been in a lot of close games, and they're sort of due to get another win. I don't think Seattle is. So I'm going to go Saints. Saints beat the Hawks. 49ers at Panthers. San Francisco. Plain and simple. Carolina's straight up awful. Unless, I mean, this would have to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Absolutely just messes it up. The 49ers defense will throttle the Panthers. Plain and simple. Like, the Panthers will have nothing for that San Francisco defense, and the 49ers offense should be able to roll. It's just a matter of number 10. So I think even if he plays bad, they can still beat the Panthers. But if he plays even competently, I think San Francisco dominates them. So, yeah, Niners roll Carolina all the way. Eagles, Cardinals. Cardinals have played well against some bad teams, and they got really lucky to beat the Raiders. And Philly has been very little luck involved to get to 4-0. It's been pretty much all skill, all talent, all scheme, all everything. Philly's ticking the boxes. Yeah, I don't see Arizona being the team that knocks them off. Maybe Dallas next week. Division game can be that speed bump for them, but yeah, man, I just think that Arizona really has nothing for them. So yeah, Philly gets another multi-score win. Cowboys at Rams. This game is really interesting. Cooper Rush starting again. Damn, man. Ugh. Can Dallas play the type of game San Fran played? Dominate defensively and just power them out on offense. Man, it's how the Cowboys want to play, but I just don't know if they can. All right, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys actually do this, and they beat the Rams. The Rams look really shaky. They've got one weapon to throw to, a bad O-line. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence will exploit that. The Rams can't run worth a damn. So it's just Trayvon Diggs v. Cooper Kupp. I mean, there's worse matchups you could have if you're Dallas. And offensively, I mean, what's the Rams defense going to do? Can they stop the run? Maybe. I mean, this is going to come down to the Cowboys offense, isn't it? All right, I'm going to have faith that Cooper Kupp can get them one more. If Dak was playing, I'd feel really good that they'd win. But, yeah. All right, I'll go Dallas a little hesitantly, but I think the Dallas defense halts the Rams and their offense is able to score just one more time. Bengals at Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Really big matchup, really important matchup, and I think Baltimore takes it. The Ravens, they've lost 2 games, but it's been 2 teams that, I mean, really, the Buffalo and Miami game, those are 2 really good teams that have played really well against, like, high-caliber opponents at this point. And Baltimore has hung with them. Cincinnati should have been 4-0 right now, and they're 2-2. Yeah, I'm gonna say Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's playing better than Joe Burrow. The Ravens' offense is just tougher to like. They're just such a unique offense to try to take on. I trust the Ravens coaching staff more. While their defense has not played great, the numbers from that mostly are the second half of the Miami game. And I don't think that that's a huge problem. I just don't trust the Bengals still. If Cincinnati wins this, I'll feel a little bit differently about them, and I'll give them their props. But Cincinnati just looks so shaky to me. Like the fact that everyone will be like, oh, the Cooper Rush loss isn't so bad now. They still should have won that if they're the team that everyone thinks they are. The Steelers game, they should never have been that sloppy. I don't care that it's week 1. Then they beat the Jets. It's like, okay, great, you beat the Jets, and then Miami without their quarterback. Okay, cool, happy for you. Yeah, damn. I think Baltimore's played better against better opponents, so I'm going to go with Baltimore. Not to mention, I picked the Ravens to win this division, so You can be damn sure in their first matchup, I'm going to stick to my guns on it. And then Monday night, we got Chiefs, or the Chiefs will be hosting the Raiders. So Raiders at Chiefs. I mean, come on. Kansas City's got them. Kansas City's had their number for a little while. The Raiders do some weird stuff against the Chiefs that no one should do. Like, there's generally a formula to beat the Chiefs. You go deep shell zones, basically. So, like, cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, and then mix in a few instances of, like, single high safeties. But you got to make them play patient, and then they usually can't, and then they give you an opportunity for a turnover, just catch it. But the Raiders don't. The Raiders, like, dare them to do what they want to do, and it never goes well. The Raiders secondary is bad. The Raiders O-line is bad. Those are two things you cannot be bad at, and I think that the Chiefs roll once again. It's next week for Kansas City that I'm really interested in, when they host the Bills. I mean, I'm going to pick Buffalo anyways. I'll pick Buffalo to beat Kansas City, but that game will be really, really telling. Yeah, I don't see the Raiders having much of a shot unless something freaky happens. But we'll see. But yeah, that just about covers it for the Week 5 slate. It's going to be a good weekend, I think. Honestly, a lot of these games are not hugely consequential. In fact, we have a couple matchups of, like, dud teams against good teams, or just bad teams. And, like, in terms of actual, like, important games, I think you're looking at that Sunday night game with the Bengals and Ravens. That's the can't miss game for sure. Cowboys Rams, I also think will be a good one. Yeah. All right. So that'll do it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps out the channel immensely. Thank you so much. Peace.